I'm Shaun Ryder. As a 15-year-old lad in Salford, long before my hell-raising antics and the Happy Mondays, I saw a ball of light whizzing about in the night sky as I stood at a bus stop. I knew there and then I'd seen a UFO. Ever since, I've been obsessed with all things extraterrestrial. I've always wanted to understand what I saw that day, and in this series, I'm going to do just that. My mission is to seek out those at the forefront of UFO research, and through them try to discover how other people deal with this most mysterious phenomenon. I'll be meeting the top dogs of ufology, from generals and scientists to the abductees themselves, to hear what they have to say and to separate fact from fiction. And that's clear as daylight, that. Well, it is. This is one of the strangest, mysterious things that I've ever seen. The word alien conjures up one vision above all others: flying saucers full of little green men. It's an evocative image that's been relentlessly circulated over the years, but in reality, extraterrestrial contact cases rarely fit with the stereotypical portrait. I'm in Chile, known as the UFO capital of South America. There are more reported UFO sightings per square kilometre here than anywhere else on the planet. With these odds, it's not hard to find people who will share their encounters with the extraterrestrial.
No hay familia en Chile que no tenga una o dos personas que no hayan visto alguna cosa.
Bueno, yo he tenido experiencias con objetos voladores no identificados, pero no podría detallarte que sea una nave espacial tripulada por extraterrestres.
¿Todo el mundo ha visto ovni aquí o ha tenido una experiencia extraña? Y esa es la gran pregunta, ¿por qué Chile?
My mission to investigate alien contact here in Chile begins in the far north of the country, close to the border with Peru. The 40,000 square miles of the Atacama Desert play host to one of the planet's most hostile environments, a tortured, arid landscape of rock and dust, which more resembles the surface of another planet, and is surely the last place you would come looking for any kind of life. Never mind that of the extraterrestrial variety. There are places here which have never ever seen rain, so coming from Manchester, I'm already out of my element. I've been joined by Antonio Huneeus, a world-renowned Chilean UFO writer with 20 years' experience. We're on our way to see an incredible first piece of evidence that some believe points towards ancient alien contact. So we're off to see the Chile Giant.
Correct. This is what is known as a geoglyph. Geo, you know, from the earth, right? And then glyph is symbol or art. So it's earth art, basically.
Right. Okay.
And this is something you see all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have some in England as well.
Yes, you have them in England. The horses there, the chuck horses and things like that. That would be
with a big willy.
Yeah, that would be a form of geoglyph.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, the most famous ones are the Nazca lines in Peru. And I think I got some pictures here on the computer, and we will see them. And these are obviously taken from the air. Look at this one. This is the monkey.
The monkey?
Yeah.
It looks like, yeah.
And with the spiral. Spiral is a motif that you see in many of these geoglyphs around the world.
This must be huge, though, that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very large. Look, it's either a fox. Looks like a fox, yeah.
Very long legs.
Very long legs.
Miles long?
Yeah, right. Miles, yeah.
Yeah. Peru's Nazca lines may be the most famous, but geoglyphs are truly a global phenomenon. From the Australian outback to the Mojave Desert, from the Amazon rainforest to the rolling hills of Middle England, no two of these curious figures are identical. Many of their stories are easily explained. Others, however, have more enigmatic origins.
Now, the question about these geoglyphs is whether there was any kind of relation with aliens, you know, that came here in ancient times. Either that they were made by aliens, although I don't think that's probably the case. More likely would be that they
made by us,
made by the natives as a you know homage, as a homage to the other people that say there are They were designed so when people could go out of their bodies, they could follow these figures. But the truth is that they don't know. Yeah. Archaeologists, they don't like to admit that they don't know something, so they make, they develop all these theories. And the alien theory is just as good as many of these other theories.
Of the 5,000 or so geoglyphs strewn across this barren corner of northern Chile, the Atacama Giant is by far both the most impressive and mysterious. In fact, it's the largest prehistoric geoglyph figure in the world, almost 100 foot taller than the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Aye. It looks, sort of like a cross between United's Red Devil or some sort of thin guy waving his hands with a crown. Or the sort of typical picture of sort of an alien.
Right.
From ancient deity to astronomical calendar, there are several theories surrounding the meaning of this geoglyph. I'm meeting Nicholas Berezin, who is a paleoastronautics researcher and an Atacama Giant expert who believes that the giant is actually an ancient alien astronaut.
Here's our expert, Nicholas.
Hello, Nicholas. Shaun.
Nice to meet you.
And you. It looks smaller than I expect it to be. It's got to be an optical illusion, hasn't it, really?
It's 380 feet.
Well, 380 feet is longer than a football pitch. And it's an optical illusion because that looks, it doesn't look as big as a football pitch.
The academia thinks that this is an astronomical calendar.
Yeah?
Yes. But I don't think so.
No?
No.
Though some academics believe the giant was an ancient calendar for predicting where the moon would set, Nicholas and others think the figure's strange appearance, that of a humanoid-like robot figure, suggests it's a depiction of an alien, worshipped as a fire god called Tanupa by the Andean people of the time.
The original myth tells that Tanupa appeared one day, I think 1,000 or 1,500 years ago, and he helped to build mountains, rivers, skies, created man, everything. He had a physical shape, and he was alive here.
So it's not a mystical god then, it's actually somebody that these people saw?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Ah, okay, right.
What do you think if I tell you that this line from the head might represent the shining of a helmet from an astronaut?
Ah, okay, yeah, well, yeah, again, that looks like some sort of astronaut's helmet, yeah. I mean, it's certainly not shaped like a head, is it? Should we get a bit closer? Should we have a wander up? I want to get nearer.
Yeah.
It might take us 3 days to get there.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty far-out conversations in my time, in comparison with some of them. The idea that the giant represents a visitor from another world doesn't seem that far-fetched. Well, we can't see the head now, can we?
See the feet.
You can see it, yeah. It's bigger close up, yeah. Now I can see it is the size of a football pitch. Not as wide, but as long.
As you can see, it's not built for be seen from the ground.
No.
It's not designed for man. Can you imagine how impressive had to be this being? We think who came from outer space to do this, because it's a lot of job.
An artist, though, can spend a lot of time on the right, can't they? There's no pubs, no nightclubs back in the day. And an artist has got to be artistic. Speaking of suffering for your art, it's time to climb up to get a closer look at the giant's head. And with 2 of Chile's foremost ufologists as wingmen, what could possibly go wrong? We can't be at the edge of the spikes. Well, they've got to be further back. We're probably around the eyeballs now. I mean, you can't tell, you haven't got a clue up here now, have you? Look, where they're at, they've got to be the eye. Is it back down there? So we've gone right past the spikes?
I think we did.
The crown?
You cannot tell.
I wouldn't have the foggiest. From here, you can't tell anything. You can't tell where we are or what we stood in. I Could be in his eyeball, for all I know.
If that's what it wants to do. That's what they say.
There we go. What's over there? So would that be an eye? No, it's too small.
No.
No?
No.
I don't know. I've got no idea. Where are the spikes?
I don't know.
Don't know. We don't know. We just can't work it out. So now we're going to walk to Bolivia. Going to some checking out the agricultural life in Bolivia. On second thoughts, a hike across the border is probably not the best idea I've ever had. We decide to carry on looking, and luckily it's not much longer before we manage to find our bearings. I can work out the feet and the middle.
Oh, yeah.
There's a foot in the middle.
These are the eyes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We are right in the
before.
middle of the,
That's right, yeah.
of the face.
Oh. So the eyes,
Yeah.
mouth, foot, and the body.
Yeah.
Nicholas wasn't joking when he said this thing was designed to be viewed from the air. But once we know where we are, the giant shape becomes obvious. What remains baffling to me, though, is that the figure was being created around the time the Roman Empire was crumbling on the other side of the world. If this was built in the middle of Manchester, like this, there's no way those eyes or anything else would still be standing. Not even by the end of today, they'd have just been pulled apart and thrown away.
Uh-huh.
Are they the original? They can't be the original rocks. Yeah? This is an original. So they've been there for 1,500 years, these? Those very ones?
Yeah. Well, we don't know for sure, but the big ones probably are the original ones, right? The smaller ones, maybe, I don't know.
Well, now that's coming back home to Manchester. It's going in my pocket. Perhaps the reason the giant has remained undisturbed for so long is down to the reverence the locals hold for it. And having been here for myself, I can understand why. I'm not sure whether I believe it's an alien, but there is something generally otherworldly and impressive about the giant. It certainly got me thinking. But all that happened 1,500 years ago, and there are much more recent reports of alien contact here in the Atacama Desert for me to investigate. I'm Shaun Ryder, lead singer of the British indie band Happy Mondays. I'm in Chile on a mission to uncover the truth behind some of the country's most famous alien contact cases. I've come to the Atacama Desert, a region with a rich history of UFO reports. While I'm here, I can't miss the chance to meet up with Patricio Absaleme, an author who has written extensively about Chile's most notorious alien abduction, the Valdez case. We're going to meet one of the men involved, and as the incident took place in the desert, it feels fitting that's where we're headed.
We're going to see one of the actual witnesses to this very intriguing case that took place 35 years ago. This guy is Humberto Roja, and he was one of the 7 conscript soldiers that was with Armando Valdez when this UFO close encounter took place.
Well, he actually saw him getting abducted?
He went through something really unusual, you know, very strange indeed. And he's willing to share his account with us now in the desert.
Right, okay. The incident of Corporal Armando Valdez is still the most spoken about UFO case in Chilean history. On the night of the 25th of April 1977, while serving in the Chilean army, Valdez was stationed at a remote outpost close to the border with Peru when he's alleged to have been abducted by a UFO.
Bueno, el Valdés es el caso más emblemático que hay en Chile, producto de cómo aconteció. Cuando uno va a la historia y contempla los registros, hay hasta un documento del propio ejército validando la experiencia, en el cual se dice que todos los hechos acontecidos son tal cual los testigos hablaron, que no he visto en ninguna parte del mundo que una institución militar avale una experiencia de este tipo.
How did this sort of story come about abduction? You know, was there anything seen flying around?
There were some lights that were falling from the sky. They thought it was the devil, or they didn't know what it was.
It's funny how people always think the worst, and they see some lights in the sky and they think the devil, and they automatically think Jesus or something good. They always think the worst.
Yeah, it is because they were very frightened.
Yeah, of course.
They were really scared.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, when I saw it, I was still a young teenager, and if I was a grown man, when I saw what I did see, I would probably be really scared.
Any people would be scared. I would be very scared too when these two lights came down and the fright night began.
Well, I'm not scared by a couple of lights. And as the shadows lengthen across the desert, the temperatures may be plummeting, but I'm just getting warmed up. Valdez's comrade, there on the night it all happened, Humberto Roja, is already waiting for us, and I'm eager to hear what he has to say.
So, Shaun, this is Humberto Rojas Vélez. Shaun Ryder.
In recent years, Valdez himself has been reluctant to speak about his experience, but in Humberto we have the next best thing. After his time in the military, he went on to have a career in the police spanning 30 years and is considered as one of the most reliable remaining eyewitnesses. So can you tell us what happened, what you did see that night?
Tipo 3:30 de la mañana aproximadamente. Una fogata parecida a esta, ¿cierto? Contando historias, cantando, contando chistes para hacer más llevadero el servicio y, por ende, el frío que hacía ahí. De repente, ¿cierto?, escuchamos un grito de uno de los soldados que estaba de vigilante, Pedro Rosales.
Humberto remembers running outside with his fellow soldiers to find a large, incredibly bright object moving around in the sky, about 600 meters up the valley from where they were stood.
Baja la luz y antes de tocar el cerro se desprende otra que se posa atrás. Esa luz que se posó delante nuestro iluminaba todo el radio, clarito, igual que en el día. Nosotros nos tomamos de las manos porque no sabíamos lo que era. Entonces nosotros, todos, ¿ya? Valdés le pedía a la luz, ¿verdad?, que se identificaran. En nombre de Dios, que se identificaran. Y ahí, nada, un silencio total. En un momento indeterminado, no nos percatamos que Valdés se soltó de nuestro contacto y se nos perdió.
Y de ahí donde ya yo prácticamente pierdo la película, porque ellos cuentan que desaparecí delante de ellos. Y después, como a los 15 minutos, ellos me buscaron, me llamaron, me buscaron. Y es increíble porque a 4 metros de distancia yo no podía alejarme más de 50 metros sin que me vieran. Me buscaron, no me encontraron. Después me estuvieron esperando, aterrorizados seguramente. O sea, increíble, yo he desaparecido y llegué, igual como por arte de magia, al lugar de los hechos. Prácticamente fue algo como si yo me hubiera sido atracado por la luz o algo extraño que había al frente. O sea, prácticamente la versión verdadera la cuentan ellos, porque yo no me acuerdo de eso. Y a mí se me borró la película totalmente.
¿Cuánto tiempo pasó? Nadie puede saber, ni nosotros mismos, cuánto tiempo fue que realmente transcurrió. Cuando de repente cae Valdés. Como Valdés, dentro de su estado de shock, lloraba y pedía a su madre con los ojos desorbitados, y Valdés comenzó a vociferar que no sabían de dónde eran, no saben de dónde somos.
Valdez's distraught state wasn't the only peculiar thing they noticed about him once he reappeared. His clean-shaven face was now covered in several days of beard growth, and just as strange was the date on his digital watch that had jumped forward 5 whole days. Not one of the witnesses has ever been able to recall when the mysterious lights finally disappeared. So, I'm just going to ask, seeing what you saw, has it changed his opinion on other life forms in the universe?
Pienso yo que sí eran objetos voladores no identificados. Yo pienso que nosotros no estamos solos en la galaxia. Yo creo que uno queda con esa sensación de andar siempre escudriñando el cielo.
Sat here under the desert sky, it's impossible not to get swept up in Humberto's account of what happened that night. As with any old campfire story, differences such as how long the encounter lasted have developed in witnesses' testimonies over time. But without doubt, much of the evidence remains compelling.
En lo personal, creo que la primera parte de la historia es real. Es decir, los ovnis aparecieron en Pampayúscuma, descendieron. La parte de los ovnis yo no la cuestiono. Ahora, lo que pasó en esos 15 minutos es lo que hoy día está en discusión.
Lo extraño del caso son las secuelas fisiológicas que quedó Valdés. O sea, una barba crecida de 5 días habiendo pasado 15 minutos. Eso es muy extraño. Eso no hay cómo explicarlo todavía desde el punto de vista físico.
Bizarre phenomena of the kind experienced by Valdez are often associated with this most contentious side of ufology. One example of many is the case of Betty and Barney Hill, subjects of the first widely reported alien abduction in the USA in 1961. After seeing a cigar-shaped UFO whilst out driving, they awoke in their car to find their clothes ripped, their watches stopped at the same time, and with no memory of the previous 2 hours. I do believe there is something to Humberto's story. He seems like a down-to-earth bloke, and it's clear something truly life-changing happened to him that fateful night in 1977. But with Valdez himself now keeping quiet in those crucial 15 minutes, we may never know the truth. One thing's for sure, as we spot a mysterious light in the night sky, that even 35 years on, Chile is still offering up mysteries for believers like me and Patricio.
The colour now is just back to white, but it was changing to red and to green, but really bright red and really bright green, almost like, you know, when you see a plane. Well, when I first saw it, I mean, it's, you know, I thought we got something. It's different to what I saw years ago, because what I saw years ago was moving really a lot right across the sky.
I've never seen anything like that before. I have never seen anything that I can explain, and I would really love to. I don't think I have seen that change of color so remarkable, but it's a star. I'm pretty sure that's a star.
Yeah, it was just
really
it's
cool.
a mess with us, wasn't it? You can see why people would mistake that for some sort of UFO.
It may have just been a star, but it's exciting to be in a country where many people's first instinct is to believe rather than disbelieve, and a timely reminder for me to keep my eyes on the sky for the rest of the trip. I'm Shaun Ryder, in Chile on a mission to get to the bottom of the country's most baffling UFO contact cases. I've already investigated 2 historic incidents in the country's arid north, and I'm beginning to think there could be more to some of Chile's UFO sightings than meets the eye. I'm back in the capital, Santiago, to examine an alien contact story that has circulated in Chile since the 1980s. It makes an incredible, unnerving claim that aliens aren't just visiting, but are living here amongst us.
Ser visitados por seres extraterrestres, lógico, tenemos que plantearnos muchas cosas en nuestra vida cotidiana, entre ellos nuestras creencias. ¿Y dónde quedaría todo lo que nos han enseñado? Sería un caos social enorme de saber que estamos conviviendo con personas de fuera de nuestra galaxia que son diferentes a nosotros.
The first reported contact from a mysterious group calling themselves the Friendship was in 1984. Ever since, rumours about an ethereal group of beings who live in secret on one of the thousands of remote islands in South Chile and who possess magical healing powers have persisted. I'm a bit sceptical, but I'm meeting Sergio Alacaya, who has spent 15 years investigating a case to find out more.
So who do you think Friendship is? What do you think it is?
I think that they are a scientific and religious community that have contact with extraterrestrial. This is my opinion and conclusion. Other people here tell us that there is a connection between the friendship community and Nazis.
And Nazis?
And Nazis.
One of the alternative theories about who the friendship community could be is down to the influx of Germans and Italians who fled Europe after the Second World War. And though some believe that they are trying to rebuild the Third Reich in South Chile, Sergio isn't convinced.
My personal conclusion is there is no connection, there is no any connection between friendship and Nazis.
You think the friendship are actually humans who have contact with aliens?
Yes. In Italy, the amicizia community was formed just for extraterrestrials, okay? But in the year 1978, the amicizia community clashes between itself. The majority of the aliens that belong to the good side of friendship lost the battle, okay? That alien that were able to mix with women in the earth.
The human women bred with the aliens?
Yes, yes. So the sons of that aliens now are living in the south of Chile. They take part in the friendship community. They are a mix between human and extraterrestrial.
The driving factor for Sergio's belief that the friendship community have extraterrestrial links is his relationship with Ernesto de la Fuente, an ordinary man with an extraordinary claim. Ernesto was one of the first people to contact the friendship via radio, and from the mid-1980s developed a close link with the island community. The relationship took an odd turn when, after falling ill in Santiago, Ernesto visited a doctor and was given some shocking news.
I saw his face. He was worried. He said, "Can you see here? Look here, look here, look here. You have cancer." I couldn't believe it. And I went home. And suddenly I found him in the radio. He just told me, "Come here. Maybe there is still time." And I went.
Given just a matter of years to live, Ernesto made the arduous 1,000-mile journey to southern Chile, where he was met by the friendship people.
They looked like they were pretended to be. Tall gringos with blonde hair. The only strange thing was that they were taller than normal. All of them.
While he slept, he was taken by boat to an island with just 14 inhabitants, and he claims buildings containing mysterious airlock rooms. But when his treatment began, things became even more strange.
The secret of all this is this, he told me. There's a small bottle with a liquid. It's a liquid with magnetic conditions. But if you don't believe in our procedures, we cannot do it.
After agreeing to the treatment and believing the mysterious magnetic liquid had eradicated his cancer, Ernesto never sought out official medical confirmation.
I was coward enough not to ask. If I had cancer, I would be dead by now.
Ernesto had been given just a few years to live, but some 27 years later, he still believes the treatment he received on that fateful trip in 1985 saved his life. He may not know where Friendship Island is, but carries a lasting memory of the people he met there.
What I know is that what they call the friendship people that were living in the island, the 14 of them, they don't get old. And they have a lot of qualities that we don't have. They don't talk in between each other, for example. They just do it with the mind. I believe that the friendship people are still in the island.
Ernesto's story is pretty outlandish, but not knowing exactly where the island is hasn't stopped him and others thinking the friendship community is still active. Sergio himself believes it's only a matter of time before we hear from them again.
I have another information that the friendship community is preparing for a contact between aliens and humans.
Yeah. Yeah. Contact soon?
Yes.
Within the next 10 years?
I think that in a shorter time.
Shorter time?
Yes. 5 years, maybe. This case is our opportunity to show to the world that we are in contact with aliens.
Mysterious lights in the sky are one thing, but I have to admit I'm finding the idea that aliens are living amongst us a bit hard to swallow.
Bien, yo creo que si se profundiza en las investigaciones, esta idea va cayendo lentamente. Con todo el respeto que me merecen estas personas que piensan que extraterrestres están en el sur de Chile, una investigación seria tiene que tener antecedentes médicos y concretos, y no lo hemos logrado, por los propios protagonistas del caso.
I really would love this to be true, to be real. An island full of sophisticated people, intelligent people, who can also cure cancer and contact aliens. But I don't think it's got anything to do with any UFOs, so I'm going to keep on looking.
It's time to take stock of my trip so far. I came to Chile looking for science facts behind the country's alien contact cases, but it's rapidly starting to feel more like science fiction. What I need is a dose of real science to get me back on track, so I'm heading off to meet astronomer Lars Akai Nyman to do just that.
Lars.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Pleased to meet you as well.
Yeah, please come over here.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Lars works on the ALMA project, the most recent in a long line of pioneering telescopes that have been built high in the Atacama Desert to take advantage of the clearest skies anywhere on Earth. As the largest astronomical project currently in existence, ALMA will allow unparalleled views of the cosmos, and there's one question I'm dying to ask him.
So is there any chance that telescopes can detect life out there?
Well, the telescopes can maybe detect, the building blocks of life. Then if we ever could become sensitive enough to look at the atmosphere of planets around the other solar system, if we could, for instance, detect water or oxygen or ozone, which can all show that there are actually life forms existing on those planets, one could have at least an indication that there are good possibilities for life to be there. But in the future, that can certainly be possible.
Though we can't yet see planets outside our solar system, there are other sophisticated ways of detecting them. So far, almost 3,000 have been found. This, however, is just a drop in the ocean. In 2012, NASA's Kepler satellite predicted our galaxy alone contains at least 17 billion Earth-sized planets. If just a fraction of these support life, the implications are mind-blowing.
Life, really, in the universe should be pretty common.
That's right, but so far we have not found life as it is. I mean, we have sent, rovers and vehicles to Mars to try to find life. So far, radio astronomers have detected more than 140 different types of molecules, and some of them are quite complex. So carbon change molecules, sugars.
Sugars?
Sugar, yeah.
What is the significance of finding sugar?
It's a complex molecule, and it's also part of the building blocks of life as we know it. And it's interesting to find out that this forms already out in space, inside these molecular clouds, which will eventually may form stars and also, disks and planets. So in some sense, we already have complex molecules existing before formation of planets.
Do you believe that there's travel between the stars, or, there's UFOs out there?
Yeah, no, personally, I don't think so. The distances between the stars are very, very large. I mean, our nearest star is 4 light years away, so it takes light 4 years to travel here. And if we could ever build vehicles to travel at the speed of light, we would still spend a very long time to reach the nearest stars and stars beyond that. So I think
But this is a fabric. Can't we just open it up and pop through it and come out at another part of the galaxy?
So far we have no indication really that we can do those things. Basically, it's very large distances.
But something out there flying about like this that I've seen at incredible speeds, that's got to be, you know, millions of years in advanced technology. Surely they can open up fabric, you know, and zip through the, come out.
Possibly, but I mean, this is speculation, so I mean, you don't really know. I mean, I've been spending more than 20 years here in Chile working on mountaintops, looking at the sky, and I've never seen anything I couldn't explain, so it's...
You should have come at Salford back in the 70s. Yeah. Well, what's your gut feeling about life out there?
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that we would be the only unique life form in the whole universe when we have, you know, so many planets that's been discovered, and also, you know, with all the molecules in interstellar space. So I think it's very likely that we will eventually find life on other planets.
In my lifetime, I hope.
Yes, you never know.
Lars has dedicated his life to studying the universe, so it's great to hear him confirming that the probability of extraterrestrial life is so high. All right, so we might disagree on a few cosmic principles, but my trip is back on track. I'm feeling inspired to follow his lead and turn my gaze back to the stars. I'm in Chile trying to shed light on the country's most famous alien contact cases. But with my trip almost up, and as yet no clear answers, I'm taking the chance to reassess the obsession that led me here in the first place.
Neil Armstrong. We got our first colour television for the moon landing. Well, putting 10 pences in the back of it. So it's thanks to Neil that we got a coloured telly. The picture's just in black and white. I think we was the only one on our street that had it.
Ever since I saw the images of Earth taken from space as a kid, I wondered if there could be someone out there watching us. And those lights above Salford I saw as a teenager just confirm what I've long suspected. I've realised if my time here is going to end with a bang, I need to go back to basics, sky watching. I'm meeting up again with Antonio Huneeus and travelling 5 hours south to Lake Coburn, one of Chile's zonas calientes. We're meeting a research party organised by Rodriguez Fundalida, the director of Chile's leading civilian UFO group, AEON.
Just for me? Okay, that's good.
As the country's highest profile ufologist, I'm in good hands for my last throw of the intergalactic dice.
It's a more bigger, grander version than the Lake District.
This is one of the epicenters.
Yeah, epicenters of UFOs.
The UFO
If you got a chance?
Maybe they come here for water.
Yes, over the lake, over the mountain, inside the lake.
Inside the lake, yeah?
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on what they are doing here?
10 years ago, there was blackouts
Blackout
in this whole area.
If the people see UFOs over the central hydroelectric.
Yeah, there's a hydroelectric plant
plant
nearby.
What do you think the UFOs are doing with the electrics? Stealing the electric?
Yes.
There's a lot of plasma being released in a hydroelectric plant.
Y hay una relación. Yo creo que con esos toman como sistema de propulsión.
So he thinks that they need that to feed their propulsion systems.
Yes. How do they take it?
The people see the UFOs over the central,
over the plant.
Under the plant.
Yeah. As a result of this phenomena, people start calling the local UFOs here like light stealers, stealing light robbers.
Okay, yeah.
He has cases where up to 30 people were seen. Including policemen.
Wow.
Cops run away.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not about to make a dash for it, even though by the sound of it, we could have more than just these light stealers to contend with.
His own team, 4 years ago, they saw 3 UFOs over the lake.
5 meters de diámetro.
Oh, about 5 meters in diameter.
The first appear in the mountain range. The other UFOs appear.
They had seen on that previous night a UFO hovering, flying right over the top of the trees, and it even burned the top of the trees.
Iluminó todo el sector.
That was the sphere, and it lit the whole sector. The intensity of the light was changing,
boom, boom,
and moving.
It came up fast, zoom, and then boom, boom.
With all the UFO sightings reported here, it's difficult to believe we won't see something in the skies this evening.
I'm really excited about tonight. I can't wait for it to get dark so we can set up all the stuff and hope for something to happen.
Rodrigo's team moves in to set up the monitoring equipment and cameras, which will record any unusual activity in the sky overnight. As the sun sets, all that's left for us to do is wait.
How are we doing, guys? We managed to get something together.
But it soon becomes apparent there's a problem.
So, our experts have set their equipment up, but they forgot some of the crucial parts. So it's a bit of an anticlimax, really, because we're not really going to get anything. I'm not annoyed. I mean, I'm just, you know, I was excited, and now we're getting Sweet Fanny Adams. I like to get up in the morning and run through like 9 hours of footage, and now I'm going to get 9 hours of fuck all.
With the equipment not working, the night feels like a dead loss. A pointless 250-mile trip to the middle of nowhere. But we're on the verge of packing up and heading back to Santiago when I'm called in to look at a photo Pancho, one of the film crew, has just taken. Nothing can prepare me for what I'm about to see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. What is that?
You can see it?
Uh-huh.
You see, have like a head on it.
Yeah. Well, it's making that movement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that.
You know?
And you couldn't see that with the naked eye, could you?
No.
See, John?
I mean, I didn't see it. It's not a shooting star, bro.
No. It's a UFO, that.
I have been taking picture to the sky a long time and never see something like this. I think it's a UFO too.
This is it. The reason I made the trip. Proof of an actual UFO. Even Warren, my non-believing manager, is visibly shaken by what Pancho has captured.
We're skeptics, but no, he just brings this in. It's definitely moving.
With Warren still not quite sure, we quickly check out the camera to rule out a damaged lens.
I'll just take a picture.
No, because see if there's a thing in the face.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
Doesn't look cracked. There's nothing in there.
Nothing there, yeah. The camera's fine.
Yes?
Yes.
Warren and Pancho might have taken a bit of convincing, but to me it's common sense that there's life elsewhere in the universe.
You know how old the galaxy is. Billions of years old. And we're all at different stages. And for God knows why these things don't come down and say we're here. Who knows that? Why they don't know that? We can't even comprehend a civilization that's 1 million years in advance than us. So, you know, of course there's things flying about that we do not understand and won't.
But that's why we're here. We want you to find out more about it. We want to find out more. We want to meet people.
Well, no, it's actually not that. It's I want you to find out more about it. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for everybody out there that's like you. Because then we can only move on as a species, as a mass of consciousness. We have a UFO. What else could that be?
I waited 35 years to experience the excitement I felt during my first UFO encounter. Tonight makes my journey to the other side of the planet feel well worth the effort. To me, this is another sign that life exists out there in the universe. But many remain sceptical. We once thought the Earth was flat. Perhaps it'll take a similar sea change in our collective consciousness for humans to accept that we're not alone. One thing's for sure, seeing is believing, and to be convinced maybe we all just need our own personal UFO experience.